While not as prolific a Phish follower as some of my friends, I did attend 10 shows between 1997 and 2000. With a lack of quantity, the quality of shows more than made up for it. Hampton Coliseum in 1999, The Great Went in 1997, The Lemon Wheel in 98, just to name a few. As a peripheral hippie, my devotion to the heavy metal arts always took primacy, but my love of noisy, experimental, odd and quirky music never waned. Having announced their Baker's Dozen, set for Madison Square Garden, it should come as no surprise that some warm-up shows might be in order. However, the surprise came when the band announced Pittsburgh's Petersen Events Center as one of the lucky few venues to welcome them. Returning to Pittsburgh on July 19, 2017, Phish returns to the Steel City for the first time in 5 years, and I add the 11th show to my list, my first in 17 years. Hitting the stage, the band opens with their rip-roaring take on Louisiana rhythm and blues man Clifton Cheniere's My Soul, with Trey leading the way with his jaw-dropping lead work. Up next, the storied NICU struts through the speakers with its driving island feel, and Page's deft organ work on fine display with his crowd favorite, as Fishman nimbly keeps the pace. With its distinctive opening, Mike Gordon guides the band into Halley's Comet, a rousing sing-along that had the crowd joining in. A boisterous and rousing rendition of this classic leads into Undermined from 2004's pre-hiatus album of the same name. Subtle and shifty, Undermined weaves a dense grooving shuffle amongst the instrumental interplay, Mike Gordon's bass rising and falling with Trey's sly guitar work. A momentary break allows the crowd to catch its breath before the uplifting start of The Divided Sky sweeps the crowd up and out, over and around, beginning its journey into the ether. Epic and yet terrestrial, The Divided Sky lives and breathes as the band explores the peaks and valleys from afar and in minute detail. The song's final 5-minute uplift soaring high until reaching its conclusion with a grateful cheer from the crowd. One of several unexpected diversions for the night, Mike Gordon takes the lead on one of his solo tracks, the heartening Marissa. The first time the band has played this song live, and only the second time the song has ever been performed. Truly a new song, as the only other performance was less than a month ago during one of Mike's solo shows on June 30th, 2017. Home, from 2016's Big Boat, finds Page helming the vocals with the band pulling and pulsing behind him. Some genuinely heavy moments ensue as the band finds an off-kilter groove to follow before the song's building intensity leads to an excellent jam bridging this amazing version of Home with the stirring Prince Caspian from 96's Billy Breathes. Closing the first set, an astounding version of Prince Caspian greets this Pittsburgh audience. Swaying and dancing, the crowd appears as one writhing mass as the lights dance in vibrant color. The song's final minutes climbing and soaring with forceful power as the band brings Prince Caspian and the first set to a rousing close. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and I See You. The first set found the band covering a lot of territory. From Home to My Soul, The Divided Sky carried us through the clouds, and Prince Caspian set out on a 3-hour tour. Mike Gordon brought some of his solo style to the audience with Marissa, while NICU found Page rollicking at the organ. Halley's Comet even crossed the solar system to find itself undermined. With a boisterous audience in support, the band concludes a well-rounded set that featured an illuminating Prince Caspian to close. Getting right down to business, the band retakes the stage to begin their second set and immediately slips into Punch You in the Eye, With its delayed gratification, the song's first couple minutes toy with the audience as the band purposefully builds the tension until cracking it wide open. Trey and Mike even take center stage to bust out a few dance moves for the audience before settling back into a tasty groove. Several false endings lead to a surprise with the beginning of the Trey Anastasio solo track, Mr. Completely. Another rarity for the band, this song has found a regular home with the Trey Anastasio Band, but is offered as a special treat for this Pittsburgh crowd, with the band's first performance of Mr. Completely since its epic debut in 2003. Understated and sublime, Trey's guitar plays around the edges of this simmering number as the band takes it for a lengthy excursion, eventually shifting gears into Mercury. Peaking with an optimistic bounce, Mercury teams with propulsive energy, only priming the crowd for the band's second debut of the night. With a building shuffle, the band settle into another Trey Anastasio Band track, Come Together. A slowly roiling number, the band rings some deftly heavy drags before the song's latter half climbs like the morning sun triumphantly overtaking the dark of night, an appropriately glorious end for an absolutely massive jam. Diving back in after a short respite, the band lightens the mood with Contact, such a catchy song that it has quite often found itself repeating in my brain throughout the last 17 years. Complete with some gnarly interstitial jamming, Contact scratch an itch I did not even know I had. Up next, Axilla satisfies my need for heavy with its driving pace and near feral riffing. Even the sinewy verses drip with latent extremity. In and out in just over 3 minutes, Axilla's fading fury dissipates into the hazy sublimation of Steam. Another song that exposes an inner heaviness, Steam bubbles under the surface with an underlying tension. Evoking Led Zeppelin at their most expository, the band jams the song like no quarter through a Grateful Dead prism. With a final effusion, Steam, literally and figuratively, fills the air one last time, the band rising from the fog with the sublime celebration of Backwards Down the Number Line. A particularly gregarious song, Backwards Down the Number Line, was born of Trey's long-standing collaborative relationship with lyricist Tom Marshall and marks a joyous ending to an exemplary second set. Setting the tone for a raucous second set, Phish re-emerges with the jam-based assault of Punch You in the Eye, initiating a nearly 40-minute jam arc that finds the band subsuming two of Trey's solo songs, one for the first time. Mr. Completely is revisited by the band for the first time since 2003, while Come Together finds the band treading in some weighty territory. Sandwiched between these songs was Mercury, which offered a buoyant vigor bridging these unique indulgences. Contact provided a brief repose and cleared the street for the final rave-up of the set, the high-octane Axilla, which brought the night to a roiling boil, only to find a release as an effusive mass of steam. Ending the show with good tidings and well wishes, the birthday collaboration between Trey Anastasio and longtime lyrical partner Tom Marshall, Backwards Down the Number Line, offers a positive send-off to conclude the band's second set. Returning to the stage for an encore, Trey Anastasio, Mike Gordon, John Fishman, and Paige McConnell set toes tapping with Things People Do from their latest release, 2016's Big Boat. Taking Paige's lead, the band follows closely on this concise traditional number. Next, Bug fills the venue with its seemingly delicate progression, finding strength in the song's building choruses Bug provides a gentle send-off as the show nears its end. However, as the last wistful strains of Bug fade out, the band launches into Rocky Top to cap the show with a rousing send-off. Taking their final bows, the band leaves the stage, loose, limber, and ready to tackle their baker's dozen at Madison Square Garden. With their final warm-up show at the Petersen Events Center in the book, Phish has left Pittsburgh with an enviable setlist performed by a band in fantastic form. My first Phish show in 17 years, the band provided moments of nostalgia mixed with a few surprises to put together a varied and interesting show. One of the greatest live bands of the last 30 years, Phish's dedication to their craft and the depth and breadth of their catalog ensures some stimulating moments, from an epic Prince Caspian to close out the first set, to a sprawling 4-song, near 40-minute jam that opened the second, even the near-sinister satisfaction lurking in the slow-burning steam found deep in the second set. Phish never ceased to amaze, and July 19, 2017 was no exception. A stirring and effervescent show from the undisputed Jam Masters.